Okay, so now I want to move into some advanced topics regarding the debugger or the sources panel that we have. So let's check first thing, which is the at the console tab, actually not the sources. There are some stuff that you will need in order to better debug the elements on the page. So if you are inspecting any element on the page, let's say that we are inspecting this fetch and generate URL button. Let's say that we want to get access to it and to check that element, to query it and to perform any operation over it. Let's say that we want to programmatically click on it. So if you inspect over any, like if you inspect any element that you have on the elements panel and then you move into the console panel, if you type $0, you can actually have a reference or you can target that element directly. So as soon as I write that, we can here see that we've taken that button. So for example, if we want to do the same thing and then we want to perform a click over it, you can see here that we were able to access that element right from the consoles tab. If you like inspect other elements, let's say for example this element, you can also, let's just write it once again. We can see here that we've targeted that a element. If we want to target a previous element, we can write the $sign once again, and then we can write any number that we have. So if we write 1, we can take the previously selected one. If we write 2, we can take the previously also selected one, and so on. If you are like accessing any value and you want to take that value, like the previously selected value, like the last value that was written here for into the DevTools, you can just hit the $sign or write $_, and then you can see here that we were able to access the last value that we've just printed here, which is this one. This might come in handy if you are like writing lots of code and then you want just to access it directly. Okay, there is this another cool trick that it might be cool to just trick your friends. For example, like if you want to edit anything on the page here directly without having to modify the elements tab, you can just write document.design mode. Let's just enable this. We hit enter. Then if we enable that design mode, we can actually edit anything on the page here, as you can see here. Pretty cool to have. Let's just disable it once again by writing off. Okay, another cool thing that the DevTools allows us to use, which is the setting of the HTML breakpoints. So let's just refresh once again. Let's take a look into this example here. This yellow box, it has a couple of things that I want to demonstrate for you. So let's start off with the first option that we can use, which is the setting of the breakpoint upon an attribute modification. So let's say that we have this field set here. This field set has a style, which is background color yellow. Let's say that this style is not intended. It's coming from a place that we are not sure where it's originated from. We need to check that place and remove that style tag, for example. Sorry for that. So in order to check over like when does an attribute got modified, we can right click over this, and then there is this break on option that we have. it gives us basically three options to choose from. So here we are interested into the attribute modifications. So this will break the JavaScript execution, and it will pause as soon there is an attribute modification that happened to that element. So if we enable this, you can see here that there is this little blue icon that is added, which indicates a DOM breakpoint. So let's just hit refresh once again. So I haven't touched anything, and then the debugger just started here. So it indicated the place in which this style tag is added. So here we have the script that is added to the page that takes this HTML override, which is this card button, and then it adds this color yellow for it. So like as soon as you can see the place in which this code is originated from, we can just move into this place, and then we can just remove that rule instantly. Let's just hit refresh once again, and then we can see that the ugly yellow color just got removed for us. Okay, let's just remove this break on. Let's take into, like, let's check the sub-tree modifications error, or option. So for example, here we have lots of scripts that are added to the head element, like these Adobe assets, and these to Google Tag Manager, these connect Facebook. Like, we don't have them from our original script and original HTML file. So like, we want to better understand from where do all of those scripts gets added, basically. So what we can do is that we can right click over the head element, and then we can choose this sub-tree modifications. Just hit refresh once again. Here we can see that this audio player module has this document.head.append child. So this code actually adds that script here. And you can see here to the right that the debugger gave us an indication over why does this execution got paused. It was because of sub-tree modifications here, and it shows us that the head, it has a child added to it. So if we just resume script execution and we move back into the elements to check, we can see here that the Adobe script got added, but not the other scripts. So it also paused the execution for us for the other append child elements that are added to the head here. So this is added also from the Adobe third-party script. We can just do this once again. We can move back. We can see that the different scripts are also added. The cool thing is that we can pause at any point that we want in order, like, to perform any checks here. For example, if you want to log any messages that you are interested in at this state before adding anything, it's cool to have this as well. You can just keep pressing until we've finished with adding all of the script tags that we have. Let's just remove this. Okay, another thing that we can use, which is the node removal. So for example, here we have this button that upon click, it basically removes this node. So if we just click this, you can see that the node got removed. So let's just say, for the sake for this example, that we want to find the place in which the removal of this node gets executed from. So here we have this node that we want to remove. So if we break on node removal here, and then we just hit remove, we can see that the debugger has paused over the place in which this node got removed from. So yeah, it's like pretty much straightforward. We don't need to check our code base in order to check that place in which this kind of function happens. It's just there for us to check and remove. Another cool thing that the debugger, also the sources panel, gives us, which is the ability to also set a breakpoint over a script tag that is added into the index.html or any HTML pages that you have. So let's say, for example, that we want to debug a certain bug that is happening here in the script tag. We can just set a breakpoint over here, and then we hit refresh. We can see here that the execution has paused over this script, so we can just let's just hit one here, and then we can just perform anything that we want as a normal debugging process that we usually used to have. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the third section, which is the JavaScript debugging. Here we can see the different resources that we've covered, like some handy shortcuts that we've covered during this section. Here, how to just execute this script, how to pause, how to perform the different steps, and also some basic commands, like if you want to disable JavaScript, you can just open the run a command and then type disable JavaScript, and the different console tab commands that we've covered during this section.